Okay, we're going to go through the course outline as it's found on Blackboard. As I mentioned earlier, you won't get a printed copy of this, so if you'd like to print it off, you're more than welcome to, but it's always available on Blackboard. The first page shows the course location and the times and days of the week. On the bottom of the first page, you'll find my contact information. I'm always happy to meet with students. I keep office hours on Monday and Wednesday afternoons. You can email me or call me to arrange an appointment if those office hours are inconvenient for you. The required textbook is Social Research Methods by Bryman. It's now in its third edition, 2012, but you can use an earlier edition. You do not need the newest edition. It comes with a disc or a pass into a secure website, but you don't need that for the course. The textbook is available through the bookstore. I also have some copies on reserve at the Murray Library. I think they're earlier editions. Those are on an in-library loan for 4 hours, but that's ample time for you to read the required reading for a particular week. All other materials will be available via Blackboard. This includes Statistics Canada data, government documents, and any syntax files that you're going to need. I do use PowerPoint, as you've already seen, as part of my lectures, but I do not usually post the PowerPoint slides. I may post them occasionally, as I will these first couple of weeks, but usually I don't post them, and you need to come to class, as I include a material in my lectures that's not included in the textbook. Then you'll see the class schedule from week to week, an overview of the topics that we'll be covering, some of the reminders of what's due, and then also what chapters from the text you need to be reading in order to keep up with what's going on in the lectures. So the lectures and the chapters in the book, they kind of complement each other. Not everything in the book is covered. And so when we get to the review portions for either the midterm or the final, you'll be clear what in the text you need to know and what you need to know from the lectures. See, there's a couple of guest lectures coming up at the end of January, and we'll also have some labs starting in February. These are not optional, they're required labs, so they'll take place during the Friday class. That's where you'll get your introduction to SPSS and some statistical analysis for those 3 weeks. The midterm is scheduled for in-class on Wednesday, March the 4th, and then we move into qualitative research methods for the second half of the course. The final exam will be scheduled by the university on a date to be determined. Attendance in class, as I've already mentioned, is very important. I also make use of small group discussions, and you're required to post to some online discussions as well. So we have a lot of interaction in the class, both online and virtually, and I think that will make your learning experience in the course quite productive. So that's outlined there in the syllabus. Now, next on to how am I going to assess you in the course? So there's lots of opportunities for you to make choices. As I mentioned, there's an online component, and so this makes up 5% of your grade. There's actually basically a few things that you can do. One of them is an online syllabus survey that you're going to be asked to complete in the next week. And then you have to post to at least 2 discussion topics on Blackboard. And so what that means is we'll be communicating in small groups in class, and at the end of that small group discussion, somebody will have volunteered to post the notes from the small group discussion to Blackboard. And so you'll be expected to do that at least 2 times as part of your evaluation. Next, you'll see very brief descriptions of the assignments. You are required to choose 3 of the 6 assignments. So 3 of them have to be completed. They're each worth 15% of your final grade. And so there are 6 different ones, and they each have their own due dates. So assignment number 1 is elements of a lit review. So you have an opportunity to do a little bit of a literature review, which is always a very important component of any research project. And in this assignment, you will have to choose 2 articles related to a research area of interest for you. One must be quantitative and the other one must be qualitative. You do a short summary, and in particular, you pay attention to the research methods, the data, the research design, so that you can clearly identify whether the article is based on qualitative or quantitative research. All of the assignments are short and with a maximum of 5 pages, not including the cover page and the reference section at the end. So that's assignment number 1. Assignment number 2, if you choose to do it, is based on the Sorokin lecture. It's an annual lecture hosted by the Sociology Department, which will take place in February. So you will do some reading by the guest this year, which is Dr. Leslie Wood from the Sociology Department at York University. And so you're required to read a couple of her articles or her book chapters, and then you summarize those, paying attention to the research methods that she uses. Then you will be prepared for the lecture and attend the lecture. Perhaps you will want to ask a question. And you need to take notes at the lecture in order to compare what you hear from that particular lecture to what you have read about Dr. Wood's research. And then you write that up. Again, it's a maximum of 5 pages. And that one is due after the lecture on February the 11th. The third assignment is an opportunity for you to work with government documentation and reports and data. And so on Blackboard, I'll show you in a little bit, you'll have access to a government report and the data upon which that report is based. And so the assignment which is detailed for you in Blackboard has a series of questions to ask or to answer based on the report and the data and documentation of the data. It's a pretty straightforward assignment. Again, it's no longer than 5 pages. I think that one is actually a little bit shorter, but you'll have to learn to use the documentation for Statistics Canada data. Then a little bit of an explanation there about our midterm, which I mentioned is in class. It's written and it will consist of multiple choice and short answer questions that will be completed during class time. Assignment number 4, you have a chance to practice some basic analytical methods using SPSS. And we will be using the General Social Survey data from the 2011 General Social Survey, which is on families. And so we'll in the labs, you'll get an opportunity to learn how to use SPSS to analyze data. And then this assignment asks you some very specific questions about data analysis and has you do univariate and bivariate analysis. And it's going to mirror the exercises that we do in the lab classes, but it will use different variables. But again, that's a highly structured assignment. And as long as you follow the details of the assignment in Blackboard, you'll be fine. Assignment number 5 and assignment number 6 are both opportunities to engage in qualitative field research. Assignment number 5, you have the option of either doing an informal interview with a family member, friend, or a fellow student in the class, or you can do what's called participant observation and attend a public event and do some detailed observations of the social interactions of that event. Again, that assignment, like all of the rest of them, are highly detailed in the Blackboard folder. And again, not a long assignment, a maximum of 5 pages. Assignment number 6 is a very interesting opportunity. The Canadian Research Institute for the Advancement of Women, or CREA, is carrying out a national study on gender justice. And so they are collecting data from women's groups and allies across the country to hear what people want from the federal government in terms of social policies that will help further the cause of gender justice. And so students are being invited to take part in this research. And so Marie Lovrod, who's the chair of CREA and also the chair in gender studies here at the University of Saskatchewan, has asked if undergraduate students from my courses want to participate in this. So in considering this, I will direct you, there's a couple of links. There's one there to a video that kind of explains the project. And there's also another document on Blackboard that explains what's required if you want to engage in this kind of research. And this is actual qualitative research. So what you'd be doing is you'd be helping to facilitate these focus groups and then have access to the data both for your own analysis, but also to help analyze it for the national report that's being put together. You will receive training, specific training in focus group facilitation on top of the kinds of information that you'll receive in class. And this is all outside of class. So you'd have to commit about 20 hours of your time. However, as I mentioned, it's real research with real data and real people, so you'll get hands-on experience that you can include in your resume, I'm sure. Also, you have access to the data that you help to collect. And so if in another course you want to write a paper based on the data, you're more than welcome to do that. In this course, you can use some of the data to do this assignment. If you're planning on doing honors research, this might be a source of data for that project as well. So a very interesting project. Happy to give more specific information to you if you're interested in it. You need to let me know if you're going to take part or if you're going to choose this assignment. You need to let me know in the next couple of weeks. I have to let Marie know how many students are going to be working on this. And so perhaps after class one day, we'll have a short meeting and I can give you even more information. But if you're interested in participating in that, and that will take place in this semester, please let me know before the end of January. And then there's some information on the final exam. It's 30% of your final grade. It will be 2 hours on a date set by the university at a location set by the university. And again, like the midterm, it will be multiple choice and short answer questions. The midterm is scheduled. The final exam is not yet scheduled, so you're asked to leave that period open, free of travel or any other kinds of commitments between April the 11th to April the 30th. And you know that from your other classes as well. The final exam and the midterm are fixed, and only if you were to provide documentation because of an illness or some kind of a family emergency would I consider giving an alternative exam. And that documentation must be given in advance of the exam or submitted to the chair of the department. There are some further information there pertaining to students with disability services. If you are registered with disability services, please see me and we can arrange what accommodations need to be made. And a little bit of information there about academic integrity. I'll talk about that in a little bit in another video. And then finally there is just a copy of the University of Saskatchewan grading system. And that's the grading system that's used for all undergraduate courses at the university. And so it gives you an idea of what the standards are and can help you perhaps set some goals for yourself this semester. So that's a quick run through of the course outline, and the next video is going to go over some of the materials that are available to you in Blackboard.